What's up, everybody? Adam here, Laptop Smack Talk. We're back, man. Took a couple weeks off watching the World Cup, FIBA World Cup. Fucking USA lost today to France, man. That's a different pod for another day. I'm not gonna get into that, man. That was hella frustrating. I was up at 4 o'clock, man. My wife's like, yo, what are you doing? Because I've been up early watching these games and USA lost. Say my comments for another time, man. We'll get into that, man. But we're here. As you can see, we are here live from fucking Seattle. Whoop-de-fucking do. Hey, Pat, visualize. Don't edit that out. Seattle Prep. As you can see, your boy's a Blanchette Brave, through and through, class of 2002, man. You know, go Braves. But we're here with one of the players who had one of the best careers at Seattle Prep, DJ Fenner, man. DJ, thank you for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, man. So just first and foremost, how's everything going?
Everything's going well. You know, I can't complain. I'm truly blessed, man. I'm here at home in Seattle with my family. You know, I'm surrounded by love on a daily basis. I just keep my butt in the gym. So, man, I can't complain.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then, how's it feel to be back in this
Best
place?
in the school that doesn't really accept too many people, and they end up going to Blanchette, you know. So, but it feels great. It feels great, you know. This is, you know, I put a lot of work in this court, you know, in this gym, and spent a lot of time at the school, and met a lot of great people, and you know, have some great long-lasting relationships, and so, you know, just coming back here, and it just kind of feels like home. It feels great.
Okay. Yeah. Well, first, so we're gonna talk to your fans about, get to know you a little bit, get to, you know, talk about your career. You know, I don't know if you've done one of these where you back to just sit here and talk about you. You know, and usually interviews are like, you know, 1 minute to like 10 minutes, but this is.
Chill.
We're gonna really dive into your career, and you know.
Let's do it.
So yeah, well, we're here. Hold up, I'm hot. Hold up, Pat, or visualize. I'm hot.
It's gonna be a Blanchette.
Oh man!
I already knew it. Look, I already called it. Oh my gosh!
Woo.
See, now I look dumb because I don't even have my Seattle Prep gear.
No, it's cool.
So I gotta got some extra shirts.
I was hot, man. It was hot in the gym. Whew. In this gym, man.
Oh,
okay.
This is a setup.
Oh yeah, man. First and foremost, shout out to another Blanchette alum, my brother Visualize, man. Go follow him. I appreciate everything he does for our pod. Yeah, man. So yeah, go follow him on Instagram, Twitter. Just Instagram. You know, he has Instagram. But so yeah, Seattle Prep. Gotta make sure this is shown on camera. Blanchette basketball. You know, shout out to my guys Zach Samard, Scott Gordon, Jordan Reinhardt, Steven Reinhardt, Visualize. You know, those are some of my Blanchette guys.
This is gonna be about Blanchette more than it's gonna be about
Yeah,
me or
man.
Seattle Prep. I can see it already.
You already know.
You're in the wrong place for that.
Man, I have stories, but we won't get to that. Freshman year, we'll just dive right into it. Freshman year, Seattle Prep, kind of did the unthinkable. Came in, averaged 17 a game. For a freshman, I remember at 14, I'm like, being 14 years old, I couldn't even fathom playing varsity and dominating 17 points a game. So describe that freshman year and how you kind of just came in and did your thing.
Yeah. Well, going into my freshman year, I was coming from D.C. I was coming from an all-boys school for 2 years, too.
Okay.
I was living with my grandparents over there. And so when I came back to prep, you know, I was coming to, you know, a school with girls.
Right.
And I was really looking forward to, like, you know, starting off high school. And then, you know, even though, you know, certain things had gone on at home to make things difficult, you know, I realized that I had a gift, and that I pretty much wanted to use my gift as best to my ability as I can.
Right.
And so I, you know, ended up just going out here and just feeling like I got to kill everybody. Even though I was a freshman, I just felt like, you know, it was time to show people what I was made of.
Right.
And so I felt like I did that, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of that is dedicated to me kind of just wanting to be on the court and get away from stuff that was going on at home too.
Right.
So it was kind of a mix.
Like a getaway for you,
Yeah, and I just like, you know, come in here and just kill everybody and forget about everything else.
Right, so I mean, your freshman year, your first team All-Metro. I don't want to say it's unheard of because a lot of guys, players have done it. Then your other 2 years at prep, I mean, your first team All-Metro, or no, second team All-Metro, first team All-State as a junior. Senior year was unbelievable. Man, you really averaged. Were you the state's leading scorer that year? 27 points
Me
a
and
game?
Zach were up there. Zach Levine were up there. I'm not sure who had it. Might have been him, but.
But you know, you're Metro MVP, first team All-State and All-Metro, the Seattle Times State Player of the Year. Another cool fact, you're the second leading scorer in Seattle prep history in 3 years, 1,795 points. So in your 3 years, I guess, how would you describe your storied career here?
That's a good question, man. You know, I think if I could describe it, you know, it was 100% a journey. You know, like I said, like you said, I was here for 3 years, and after my freshman year, I left and lived with my dad in DC, and then came back here, lived with my mom. So I was being pulled back and forth all the time. You know, so it was definitely a constant battle to try to figure out kind of who I am, and kind of, you know, how do I navigate through, you know, this school and pretty much, you know, reach my goals and become the man I, you know, wanted to be. And it was a long journey, but you know, I think as far as, you know, to move more to like the basketball side, I was just trying to get better every day. That's all. I mean, every year I just wanted to prove more and more and beat, you know, whoever was in front of me, and, you know, help my team win and do it for my family. So it was all just like a growth experience.
Right, okay. So you played for Coach Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a quote from Coach Kelly, and, you know, I'm quoting what I read, is Coach Kelly said, quote, "DJ is as good as a scorer prep has ever seen." So when you kind of think about that quote, and you think of some of the story players that have been here, because when I was in high school, Eric Bond was just unreal. He 6'7", 6'8", lefty. You know, shout out to Eric Bond, man. That's my guy. I've known him since I was like in 6th, 7th grade. Then you have Martell.
Of course.
You got Spencer.
Yep.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah. Well, it honestly means a lot. I try to remain humble. You know, I don't really talk much about like certain accolades or, you know.
Well, today you are. Blacktop Smack Talk, you're going to talk about it today.
Let's do it then.
Not feel bad at all. Not feel bad at all.
Yeah. But, you know, one of the reasons why I went to prep is because you had guys like Martell and Spencer come through, and guys like Mike Knight, you know. So
shout out to Mike Knight, man.
Right, yeah. So, you know, I would see those guys, and, you know, I was just like, man, I got to, you know, I think this is a good place to go where I can, you know, see what I can do there, like be the next one, you know. And of course, it's always been, you know, the dream has been NBA. So even, you know, seeing how these guys, you know, play in the league and this, that, and the other, I was trying to follow, you know, that kind of that path through this school.
Right. So your senior year, incredible. Like I said, you know, I went over the accolades, but, you know, kind of like following Spence and Martell, your accolades, you know, Metro MVP and Times State Player of the Year. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think more than.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to cut you off. Given your senior year of high school, how talented the state was at that time, and how talented Metro was at that time.
Yeah. You know, I remember when I found out I was Player of the Year, I was hanging out with some friends, and I saw the text or whatever, and I yelled. I went outside and was like, yeah, you know, because it was a good feeling. I knew I was, you know, getting ready to go to University of Nevada, so I'm thinking like, you know, life was pretty good at the time. But more than anything, I think it just, for me, it kind of solidified a chapter in my life. Having moved so much, having gone through I went through quite a few different things in high school. So, having, put in all that work, it's like, dang, like I've really seen, the results.
Right.
I'm really seeing success and I'm feeling it. I experienced it. Like I can look in the mirror and say, I did that. So that kind of set a whole tone for me and kind of my mindset today.
Okay. Yeah, that's because that senior year, I was telling you this off camera, and I'm sure we'll get into it later, is I was in this gym with my other guy, Charlie, and John the Barber, John Byers from Supreme Cut. Shout out to John.
Shout out John.
We were sitting right over there playing beach, number 4 beach at home. Game, I remember the game. It was cold outside. I don't think it was snowing, but it was raining. The gym was just packed. Standing room.
They stopped letting people in.
Right, they stopped letting people in. That game was one of the craziest high school games I ever seen. And me and my guy Charlie, we watch a lot of high school games, and that's up there, top 5 in my life. And I'm an old man now, so I've seen a lot of basketball. That top 5 easily. You beat Beach when they're number 4. You've had 16 of the 18 points in the fourth quarter. You were down by 13, I think. And
third quarter.
Yeah, you were 6 of 10 from the field in the fourth quarter. And I just remember you took that game over. All right, so senior year, like you said, you chose Nevada, but you chose them over some pretty good schools. Gonzaga, Wazoo, Utah, and Oregon. So you chose Nevada over nationally ranked every year Gonzaga and 3 Pac-12 schools. What went into that decision for you?
Well, let's see, man. At the time, it was a rough summer. I was playing AAU ball, and I didn't really have a good spot on the team, and but I really showed out when Nevada was there, and the assistant coach at the time, Zach Claus, who's my mentor to this day. I made a long-lasting relationship with him and his family. Something I'll forever be grateful for. He was on me, and then I felt a true connection with him. And it's wild because it was the assistant coach that I felt more of a connection with than the head coach, mind you.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, but at the same time, mind you, I didn't really have much guidance in just choosing the school. I only took one official visit, which was
that to Nevada?
It was to Nevada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I remember at the time I was in my senior year before the season started, and I wanted to sign before Gonzaga kind of stopped. They lost interest. Some of those other schools kind of
Mark Few.
Yeah, lost it. Well, and then he had an assistant coach who was recruiting me, who actually ended up having to leave. So So I did. I wanted to go to like a Gonzaga or UW at the time, or one of those big schools. But it's funny how things can work out because even though I didn't have the best college career. We didn't make it to the tournament every year. It was another one of those things, kind of how I was talking before, with the growth throughout high school. It was another one of those things. By the end of my senior year, I closed the chapter on my book and I looked in the mirror again. I was like, this is what hard work. I mean, we won the Mountain West championship that year. We ended up, going to the tournament. So it was one of those things, even though it was really rough at first, even though I felt like I had made the wrong decision in going to it initially, simply because I had a crazy senior year after that, right?
So you felt like you jumped the gun?
I felt like I jumped the gun a little bit. I did,
sure.
I did. And as a, young 18-year-old, 19-year-old.
Kind of a little bit of like buyer's remorse, kind of. You're just like,
I mean, at the same,
cold feet. Cold feet's a better way to put it.
Yeah. But of course, in hindsight, it's like, it could have gone. I could have tried to go one of those big schools. I could have been one of those players trying to transfer. Now I'm kind of getting lost in the mud now. But instead of going to Nevada, it made everything work out in the end, man, for real.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. Unfortunately, I have the unfortunate privilege of sitting in the Seattle Prep locker room The cool story about this though, I had to put the Black Top Smack Talk hoodie back on. You know, I didn't wanna. It says in the Blanchett, you know, go Braves. Says we're in Seattle Prep. But the cool thing about this locker room is, it's just built, just newly built. These lockers you see over here were from 1948, and we talk about the locker room because the impact that DJ had in his time here really boosted the program, really boosted boosters or whatever, people who give back to the school or whatnot. This is because of a guy like him. And that is a direct quote from the security, one of the guys who does security here. So that's a nice little feature, for him. So, man, it's all right. It's all right, It's missing the green and gold, but it's cool.
You gotta go on 85th for that.
So Nevada, you go there, you play 4 years there. Your time was I remember following your career, it was kind of up and down, so to speak. Your freshman year came off the bench, and you're actually, from what I remember, you're the second player from Seattle to go to Nevada. Marcellus Kemp from Garfield.
Yeah, and another dude, Patrick Nieko.
Patrick Nieko, yeah.
Seattle Prep, yeah.
No,
See, we actually send guys to play D1. See, that's the thing. I don't know if they're doing that over there in Blackshot. So.
Oh, man. Okay, so two guys, Marcellus Kemp and Patrick Nieko, that's right. So shout out to them, and I don't know if that's a Seattle connection or if that helped pave the way for you, but so your freshman year came off the bench, which, as typically most freshmen, I don't know, it's just hit or miss, I guess you could say. How would you describe your role was freshman year? Like, what was your coach telling you, and was it everything you thought it would be that first year?
It was 100% pretty much nothing I thought it would be. I mean, you gotta understand where I was coming from and then the situation I walked to, and I think, I can speak for a lot of athletes who kind of, do that. They'll go and expect to do all this stuff their freshman year, and next thing you know, they get hit with a little reality, whether they find themselves behind an older guy or they find themselves not liking the coach as much, or the system not fitting them as well as they thought it would be, them not getting as much playing time. And, I kind of experienced all that. That was something I had to deal with. But it was one of those things that's just like, I'm here, I'm trying to take advantage of it, I'm trying to make the most of it, instead of trying to, get out of the situation and transfer schools immediately. I was like, I made a commitment here, I'm gonna see how it goes, and, I'm just gonna keep getting better every day. That's kind of the only thing I could do, because it was very frustrating. But it was just beginning that freshman year, the frustration. So.
Right. I've coached college 7 years, and I've always liked to be, real. Some college coaches, I'm an assistant coach, head coach, how some head coaches or some head coaches, I compare them to car salesmen. They really sell you on something. And
it's their job.
Yeah, it definitely is their job, but I've never been a fan of, like, once you get there, a guy comes, if I recruit a guy, like, it's like, all right, this is what we would want out of you, but you're going to have to earn it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to promise that. I'll probably still get an opportunity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to promise, like, oh, you're going to get 20 shots, you're going to play 38 minutes. Nah, and that's what it's a different story for another day. Some college coaches lie to get the player. I've never been about that. I've always been trying to be upfront and honest with guys. But, so moving on from your freshman year, your next 2 years, in your career, you played 135 games, 10 points, 3.5 rebounds. Your sophomore year, 37 games, you averaged 13.6 points, 4.5 rebounds. So that's a big jump. What went into that big jump? Because your freshman year was only, I'm sorry. Your sophomore year was 9 points a game, 3 rebounds. So what went into that jump? Because freshman year, you're basically 2 points a game coming off the bench.
Well, shoot, it's not hard to make a jump, that's for sure. Because I was barely playing my freshman year. But it's funny looking back on it because there are definitely I would have done certain things differently if I could do it again. I would never go back and change because I'm really happy who I am today. But there's just certain things I would do differently. But it may seem like a jump on paper, but if you look at our record that year, my sophomore year, it was just awful. So it really was not a jump, it was a regression. Because even if I had averaged that year 15 points, jumped from 2 to 15 points, it just looks honestly even worse with a 7-24 record. So then it's just kind of like, who really cares about your 15 points? Nobody would if you're losing. So for me, it wasn't necessarily a big jump. I think I started making real progress going into my upperclassmen years in Nevada.
So your junior, senior year, yeah, because you're double figures both those years, and that's when you made the jump. You guys,
we won the CBI that year.
Yeah, you guys won the CBI, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys won the CBI.
Which is, a nice little token to end, the season on a high note. Not many people can say they ended their seasons, college careers with a win, that's for sure.
There's only, 3 winners at the end of the year?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so there you go, you were part of history.
Yeah, so, I wasn't, at the end of the day, we were playing college basketball. Of course, I wanted to be in the NCAA tournament, so everything short of that was kind of a failure to me, even though it did feel good to win that my junior year.
So then your senior year is kind of like, I don't want to say plateau, but you kind of hit it in stride. Most seniors do after they go through the progress of 4 years and they go through the grind, the wars, the fire, and your third team all league, which is a great accomplishment. And the dope thing is you guys made the tournament. So how would you describe your senior year?
Yeah, so my senior year was one to remember for sure. And I can't help but relate it to my senior year here at Prep because I had an amazing, on and off the court, things were really going well for me that season. And a lot of that was just because I was focused. I realized this is my last go around. I remember 3 years, each year before that, every year the coach is talking about the seniors, because it really is. It's a big thing. So I just took it seriously. I just spent more time in the gym. I try to, stay away from distractions, be it parties or girls. I try to kind of just focus mainly on basketball that year. I just wanted to win. I wanted to help my team win. I didn't want to go out as a failure. I wanted to somehow leave my mark on Nevada. And that was one of the reasons why I chose Nevada in the first place, because I felt like I could leave there and leave a legacy, which I believe I did, actually.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Going to the tournament is huge. Yeah. There was another cat from Seattle on your team, too.
Yeah, Elijah Foster.
Foster,
he played Beach, and he was actually on that team that we beat. We were talking about here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So describe the tournament. So first round, who'd you guys play again?
We had Iowa State. It was a great matchup. I think we was 11 seed, 11 versus 7.
Were you the 5-12?
No. Oh, we were
you were the 12 seed.
The 12 seeds are always the upset.
Yeah.
Upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were the 12 seed then. Well, I can't remember, but we were definitely one of those upset kind of teams. It was a great matchup too. We could have gotten them. There's nothing like the NCAA tournament. I never seen a stage like that. That's just kind of where you want to be if you're playing college ball.
Yeah.
It's the NCAA.
It's not cliche.
It's the biggest stage in the world, though. So it's hard to even explain.
Damn.
But it was a great feeling just to even be there. It's just it didn't really turn out that well for us. Obviously we lost in the first round, but it didn't end.
How much you guys ended up losing by? You remember?
Man, my eyes were full of tears.
Yeah.
On the bench.
Well, it was a close game. It was a close game from the start, if I remember.
And then they pulled out.
Yeah. Okay. from there, like from your initial coach,
Carter.
Coach Carter,
David
and then
Carter.
then you went to Coach Musselman.
Yep, Eric Musselman.
So, you know, for our fans who don't know who that is, he's coached all over. But he coached, you know, NBA, and he coached at Nevada for the last like 10 years. Or I don't know how many, not 10 years. It was like
he was there for about three, four. See, I had him for 2. He ended up being there for 4 or 5 years.
Right, because he's at Arkansas.
No, he's head coach at Arkansas.
Yeah. So he was there for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Describe that playing for him. Former NBA coach. Mm-hmm. How was that?
He changed the whole culture around. I mean, you know, he came in and immediately it was improve, get better each and every day. Get your butt in the gym. Mm-hmm. You know, it's going to pay off, guys. And he's a player development kind of coach. You know, right. I mean, you can't really play the game without having the skills. And at a high level at least, and he just always pressed that. He was very in tune with the school. He was always busy trying to get people to games. He was always, he was just trying to change the whole culture around because he saw when he got there how the culture was, and right. It just was not a good culture. I mean, it just was not a winning culture. And he came in there and changed all that around, and ended up having a successful 2 years together.
Dang, I mean, CBI winners, made the tourney.
Mountain West Championship, can't forget that.
Mountain West Championship, yeah, see, there you go, Mountain West Championship.
We won the regular season and the Mountain West tournament, because if we didn't win that tournament, we wouldn't have been in the NCAA tournament. Yeah, we needed that automatic bid.
Yeah. Okay, so was there a game in college or a certain time where you're like, I'm gonna be a pro? I knew this is like it gave me that confidence to be like, yeah, man, I can do this. Like I'm gonna make a career out of basketball. Mm-hmm. Was there a certain time, or was there one game that was just like, that's the one?
I always knew it. It's just how I knew I was always gonna go play college ball and receive a full ride. I just always believed it.
Right.
It wasn't nothing new so when it happened, I wasn't necessarily surprised because I expected it. If I can think about one game where I felt like, I'm here, like I'm happy, I'm here. I guess I don't want to say I arrived, but like I had that feeling like, man, I'm going, and we played UNLV at home, and I dropped 37 points. Off of 12, 15 shooting. Yeah. And I just knew I had a shot. I knew I, could play. And I mean, I knew I could play before, but like this was a little different atmosphere. This is rivalry, so in-state rivalry, UNLV versus Nevada. So I mean, we've had multiple battles over the years. So I thought about all that. So by the time I was out there on the court, it was just everything. I just felt free, man. Just going.
Man, that's dope. So then, after college, you graduated?
Mm-hmm. Graduated with a degree in communication studies, minor in community health sciences. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Congratulations with that.
Yeah.
So then, right after college, it's time like, all right, I gotta kind of figure everything out. So what was I've asked every single guest I've had, what was the process of picking an agent like?
Oh yeah, that was interesting. We
get that answer a lot, man.
It's just a weird kind of process, honestly. I mean, throughout college, you have certain agents kind of Facebook messaging you, throughout the years. So I always ignored that because it just took away the focus from what I was really there for. I mean, I wasn't really focusing on no agents, but then afterward, it was an interesting process, man, because I didn't really know how to necessarily go about it. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, I didn't really have, I wouldn't say I didn't have much help, but I wasn't necessarily, taking the steps and reaching out to certain people to get ideas on who to be my agent, this, that, and the other. I kind of just kind of went with it. And
did it on the fly?
Yeah, kind of, because there were certain agents contacting me, and I was trying to talk to them, see what guys they had, and I was going that route. First agent I had turned out to be it's just a dumb situation, fired him. And then the next agency I went with, it worked for 2 years to a certain extent. I mean, it's just hit or miss sometimes with certain guys because you know, especially when you're not one of the top guys that's going to go to the league and make you money, or even a lot of money, or go overseas and sign a huge contract off top. So, you know, it kind of depends. But to say the least, it is interesting. The process, and it's gonna be. I mean, I can see how other guys would say that.
Yeah. One of the dope things about you was you got a workout, NBA workout.
Yeah.
Washington Wizards. I remember reading that. I was like, damn, that's dope. Explain how that came about.
Well, actually, my dad hooked it up. So he lives in DC, and he was one of the assistant coaches on the Wizards. It was his friend from growing up.
Okay.
You know, so it's not like it wasn't one of those things like, oh, they were looking for me. It was a filler spot. So you know, I just came into, you know, I pretty much knew nothing would really come from it, but I knew I was gonna go in there and be like, I'm gonna see where I'm at. I'm gonna go at this dude. And I had a great workout. It's just, you know, when you're not the guy that they're looking at, they don't look at you, right? They're only seeing like, if I score on somebody, not saying, oh, he scored, they're saying that dude got scored on. You know, it's kind of workout. So you know what I'm saying? Because they're not really paying attention to me. But at the end of the day, it was a good experience because I'm like, man, you know,
you can hang with some of these guys.
I can hang. I know that, but like I'm sitting there like this is you know what I've kind of been. This is what I've been dreaming about. I'm here in this practice facility. You know, I'm thinking like, okay, so what next steps do I got to do to get here? You know, and that's kind of helped me along with my progress as an athlete. So.
Did you get feedback from that workout at all? Did anybody from none of their staff or management give any feedback?
Nothing. Yeah. They don't really look at. I mean, it's not really like I said. When you're not even a thought, I mean, you're just a filler player. Then you know they don't really worry about you. They kind of just say good luck for the rest of the way. Plus, I'm on the West Coast. I mean, I just went home to DC where I live. So.
So then after that, did you had an agent, your first agent? Did you have any offers after your Wizards workout?
No, nothing really came about.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, nothing really came about. You know, I tested with a 41-inch vertical at the Wizards workout, and I thought just that alone would kind of help me get another workout. But with that agent, I didn't see it happening. And even though he was, you know, they try to feed you some dreams, like we'll get you a workout here and there. It just didn't work out.
So but then you started your pro career with Alba in Hungary.
I was playing bar.
Which is in the Champions League.
Yeah, we were Champions League, Euro Cup.
Euro Cup, which is that's big time.
Oh yeah, and Hungarian league itself is very
for sure. So describe that. Describe Hungary. Describe how that experience for you was. And
that was one of those experiences, man. You know, this last, I'm telling you, these my first 2 years pro have been very difficult. They've been up and down.
Oh yeah, I
know you can tell.
We'll get into it.
And that's where it all kind of started again. Like it was just it almost felt like freshman year of college, except for the fact that, you know, they can send you home and stop paying you and this, that, and the other, you know, so it's obviously a big difference. But, you know, I learned a lot there. That was the first time me playing pro, and, you know, when that first game, I'll never forget, I was just like, oh, I'm here, like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like, it's time to go hard, dudes are banging. I'm like, okay, we're here. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro, like, I'm playing now, you know. And I think that was a really great feeling for me. And, you know, even though it didn't work out there, it gave me a sense like, you know, I can play with anybody. I'm, you know, better than these dudes. I'll work harder than these dudes. So they gonna remember me after cutting me this year. And the next team I went to in Greece, they gonna remember me because they ain't want to play me this, that, and the other. And then the next team who cut me, and it's all a blessing in disguise. Yeah. Now I'm like, okay, I'm still working. So whether I'm with y'all or not, I'm still working. So.
I mean, like speaking of blessings, you know, you went after you left the team in January, the team in Hungary. You went to Greece, which is, I mean, I'm not a pro, but you know that I think it was said later that month you went. So I mean, you had something.
Yeah. So what actually happened was I actually got cut in November, but I stayed in Hungary in hopes to find a job quicker.
Oh, okay.
So I wasn't really playing from November to January, December, January, and then I went out to Greece.
From Hungary?
From Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Flew straight there. I
Yeah.
didn't go home. And I walked into just another terrible situation, man. Just I mean, it was one of those situations. I was at home, or I was out there, and I come in. I'm like, okay, no, I'm gonna come in now and start killing in practice. And I start killing this. I don't really. I'm not playing, I'm getting benched, and I'm not getting paid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've heard horror stories.
Yeah, man, and it's funny because I've talked to a lot of other athletes and teammates that I play with, and they've had very similar experiences in certain places.
Weird,
it's weird, mind you. It's not the U.S. I mean, you and another person, and I'm a black dude in another, person, a European country. So you gotta understand it's just a different. I mean, you just gotta deal with certain things that you would never ever expect you'd have to deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, after your seasons, that first season, going into that summer, and then were there offers on the table after Greece, like after the summer?
Not immediately.
It's kind of like a waiting game.
Working and trying to stay ready, this, that, and the other. Boom, I get a call to go to Finland and play.
Finland, yeah.
Boom, I'm like, all right, sign, do this. Next thing you know, I have a torn hamstring. I'm back at home 2 months later.
That's right, because I remember being in touch with you, kind of asking what's going on. Dang, torn hamstring.
Torn hamstring, but I think the worst part about the torn hamstring was knowing I can come back soon, but they have other agendas. Without going too deeply into it, because I'm past that point in my life, and I'm very thankful to be where I'm at today. At the end of the day, it was just a learning experience.
Right.
And then everything changed then after that.
Right, because then after that, you were home, you were recovering. I remember, following you on social media, seeing you work out, trying to get your body right, getting stronger, getting healthy.
Yeah.
You end up, I'm not gonna hate, but in Bosnia, of all the places, you hear stories growing up, you hear stories like in school of Bosnia being a crazy place. So
not necessarily even crazy. They're just dealing with war. You know? I mean, it's
to some people, it's
but it's like, the way I looked at it, and I'm very thankful to have been surrounded by those guys out there because they really embraced me, and I was coming. I hadn't played in 4 months. I was considering stopping playing ball. I was working a job. I'm like, all right, I guess and I get a phone call. I'm out there, and next thing you know, they embracing me.
Right.
But it was interesting hearing about everything before I got there, and then getting there and learning everything, like really hearing it from the people there. And there's obviously it's the old Yugoslavia that split after the war in '95, I believe. And even there, it's just like everywhere you drive, almost it's like you like, dang, like a tank blew that building up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so you're like, listen, these kids that I'm playing with, their dads were in the war, and they have stories and they talk about it. So, but there's not right now. The way they're explaining it to me, it's more of a silent war between people around there. Everything's really calm because they've been rebuilding since the war. There's been a lot of growth there. So it was cool to go out there and learn about it, and even though I was a little nervous at first, because you don't know.
Then you get out there and it's not as bad.
I mean, it's a beautiful country.
Right.
Bosnia and Herzegovina is a beautiful country. I mean, I was very happy to be there. Right. I mean, just to even experience and see that stuff, and then winning the championship.
Right, so that's what I was going to get to. You guys were regular season champions. I mean, you ended up playing 17 games. You did well. You had a solid role on the team.
Yeah.
You regular season champions. So talk about winning the regular season and then the playoffs and eventually winning the championship.
Yeah, well, so that's what they really brought me in for. They wanted me to come in and help them advance a league into the ABA 2 league. And I, came in there and I just did that. I just helped, and it turned out great. We ended up winning a 5-game series in 5 in the championship, right? At home. and the whole city just erupted, man. I mean, they were really happy after we won the semifinals when we were already solidified to move up a league. But then when we won the whole thing, the city is just, the way they embrace you, it's just an experience and a feeling I couldn't even explain.
Right.
I mean, from the kids to the old adults, like,
Yeah.
you know, they really, that's their home. A lot of them don't leave, but they got Cherokee basketball. So it all worked out, man.
Dang, so
and that was another kind of close to the chapter, it felt like. So I feel like I'm kind of on to a new chapter now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. So then, you know, I have to do a side note before we get to some rapid fire. And once again, we appreciate you taking some time. We gotta get a workout in, but I gotta ask this. You said African American, and then you're also Filipino.
Yep.
I'm a part of Facebook groups that your name's been brought up a lot.
Yeah.
So I have to ask.
Yeah.
You know, are you gonna eventually get your Filipino passport?
Right.
And then would it be a goal? I don't want to say a dream because obviously I think that if I'm if I'm assuming correct, NBA is the dream. But is it a goal to kind of, you know, play pro over there, be in the PBA? And then finally, there's 3 parts of the question is, do you have a message? Because I know you have fans over there that you probably don't even know about, because I know it, because I see it and I hear about it, you know, just from the stuff on Facebook, and I've had coaches ask me about you, and agents and whatnot. So, fill in the Filipino side.
Yeah. Well, my mom's Filipino.
Right.
But she was born in Canada when I was born. So in order for me to even get dual citizenship, I kind of have to go through my grandma. I have to actually go out to the Philippines. Yeah. And we're trying to make it work. We'll see. I don't know. But you know, it's one of those things that it's like, you know, my Lolo, you know, he passed, and I wanted to go. I've always wanted to see his home. Right. And my Lola, she's still alive, but I want to go out there and see, you know, where they came from and the reason why I'm here. You know, I mean, that we're talking about, you know, roots. You know, I want to get back to the roots, like on that side, and you know, I'm like, my family here in Seattle is all Filipino. Like my dad's side is in DC. And I pretty much grew up here in Seattle. Like, I did grow up here in Seattle, even though I moved around a lot. But you know, I'm real in tune with my. I know a lot of your cousins, man.
Exactly,
man. So, like, you know, I'm really in tune with that. And if I were to ever get an opportunity to go out there and play, man, I think that would be amazing. And I think, you know, more than anything, it will really make my family happy on that side, that family proud. And, you know, I'm all about the fam. So, you know, I would love to make them proud in that sense. But it's definitely one of those, it's a process. Because I also have my other goals. Like, I want to succeed in Euroball. I've been in it 2 years. It hasn't been the best. It hasn't been the worst. But I still have goals I haven't reached yet. So I still got
unfinished business.
Yeah, I got unfinished business. And you know, we know, I mean, you got a certain amount of money you can make in certain places. It's not always as simple as people try to make it seem. But at the same time, you know, I understand there are pluses and, you know, negatives and positives on both sides. So you know, it's just something that I'm just gonna take my time with. But I'm always putting on for my, you know, Filipino side. For sure.
So to my Filipino, my fellow Pinoys, you know, all my people out there. I don't have people out there. To all our followers, Visualize is laughing at me, man. You know, he's gonna get there. Eventually, he'll get there, and you guys will not be disappointed, man. DJ can go, so you guys will not be disappointed. So finally, we're just gonna end this interview. We'll do a little rapid fire. Just ask you questions. You don't gotta really dive in too deep about it. Who is the toughest player you've had to guard in all 3 phases of your basketball career? High school, college, and pros. So 3 for each.
High school, Zach Levine. College, Ron Baker and Fred VanVleet when they was playing together. one of my teammates when I had to guard him in practice, Casey Hill, played it for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a quick hat right there. You can go. So that was probably 3.
Okay. And then I think I know the answer for one of these, or maybe all 3. What is the best team win or the best overall win you've had in each 3 phases? So high school, college, and the pros.
Well, my favorite one was here.
Right.
Beach.
Beach.
They just lost them in the state championship game the year before. College, it had to be winning the Mountain West tournament my senior year when we played Colorado State. Because once we did that, wow, like we're going to the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, that felt really good. And then pros, I had to say championship game in Bosnia and Herzegovina. That was, it wasn't necessarily like my best game, but I put up some points, and it was kind of like one of those situations. I know it's rapid fire, man.
No, you're good, man.
But it was like another one of those phases for me. I felt like I closed a chapter in my book because of all that had happened that year, from getting hurt, getting sent home, contemplating stop playing ball, or a job, coming back, having to get in the flow of things when I got back overseas, trying to find my rhythm, and then for us to win the championship game, and I had a really good game, and I was like, all right, we're going up from here now, no more slowing down.
Dang. And okay, so then your best individual games. I think I might have an idea what your best individual games, high school, college, and the pros.
I shot 40 in high school a couple times, 42, so probably, I don't know, I think one was on Bainbridge. We had a game against Bainbridge Island here that was for, like to seal some, like the Metro, or something, I can't even remember now, it's so long ago.
I mean, because he was like, man, I had so many 40-point games, man, it's just, whatever. Just another day in the office. Like I said, we're in the locker room, the DJ build, man. This is so,
check the colors, blue and white too. Check the colors.
Man.
Yes, sir.
So don't let his modesty fool you, ladies and gentlemen, man. So against Bainbridge.
Yeah, Bainbridge in high school, and then college probably against UNLV. I dropped 37.
Yeah, 37.
Career high. Pros. Did we do what for? We're talking about game, right?
Your best individual game.
Yeah. Pros, my best individual game, I think it came in the first game of the season in Finland. And I was only there for a couple of months, so it was like a month before I actually left, and I had 24 in the first game, in the overtime game, and I was like playing against some old pro NBA guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, like we're getting after it. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, so ultimately, last question, like I ask everybody here, ultimate goal. I mean, like you talked about earlier, you said NBA is like the ultimate goal. When you kind of mentioned a few minutes ago about Europe, do you have aspirations to handle business in Europe? Like, get to because you played in the Euro Cup, so I think get back there, maybe Euro League.
Yeah.
Conquer a quest out to the Philippines. I mean, what is actually? I mean, I'm not trying to speak for you, but you know what I'm saying.
The Philippines in there.
Right.
Sure.
I know NBA, like you said, is the ultimate goal, but do you have any other?
To be honest with you, the ultimate goal for me is to just be the best player that I can possibly be. And whether that's me being the best player that I can be in the league, overseas, I don't care if it's at LA Fitness. My point is, I want to just be the absolute best that I can be. And I kind of adopted that idea because I always would think, like, I got to make an NBA. I got to make my family proud. I got to do this. I got to do that. And a lot of stress comes with that. And and I just kind of ended up changing my mindset a little bit. And just like, hey, man, every time you get in the gym every day, what are you doing to get better? What are you doing? Maybe yoga, you getting free throws, shots, running, beach, that's all stuff I do. So like it's for me, it's just become the best player I can be. Like, of course, you know, I want to win an NBA final, I want to win an EuroLeague final, I want to win all that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all about winning, winning championships. So
and PBA championship too.
And, yeah, exactly. So so you just, you know, I'm ultimate goal is just be the best player I can be, and I'm just looking forward to see where my career goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We know you got some things hopefully in the works, so we can't really dive into that. But as unfortunate as it was, as me and Visualize coming to the enemy, we enjoyed talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the enemy.
I know. It's all good.
Placing the enemy, but we enjoyed, you know, kind of just pretty much getting to know you and getting to talk about your career. So we can't thank you enough. Did you want to shout out your social media at all? We allow our guys to shout out social media.
Oh yeah, okay. Feel free to follow me at Lil_Mamba15. Yes, I'm a Kobe guy always, and that's it. LIL_Mamba15.
That's for Twitter.
That's for all of it.
All of it. Twitter, Instagram,
whatever. All of it.
All right, and so man, that about does it, everybody. We're coming to you live from Seattle Prep. Thank DJ Fenner taking time out of his day when he's trying to prepare to get to start the next chapter in his book, next chapter in his journey. We appreciate him. We appreciate your guys' love and support. Thank you so much for everything. Please follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, YouTube. You guys know the deal. Blacktop Smack Talk. Once again, thank you to my brother, Visualized. He does great stuff. You guys should hire him. Thank you, Adam here, Blacktop Smack Talk, DJ. Thanks,
man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Signing off. Thanks, guys.